Good afternoon. Let's try this again. Facebook has changed something on my stuff. They're always changing something. Friday afternoon, we're going into, you got a wave coming in, sweet ones. An intense wave coming in tonight, and it's going to increase through the weekend. Now, with this eclipse coming on Monday, what's really helpful to understand about a lunar eclipse, the full moon is in Aquarius, and I mentioned this before, and the sun is in Leo, direct polarities of each other. Leo represents the king, the heart, and Aquarius represents the mind, overthinking. How you doing, Mel? How you doing, Catherine? Big hugs and blessings, beautiful. And so, as this culminates on Monday, so through the weekend, it's going to increase in intensity. And I have many messages me saying I'm overwhelmed. And what this is doing, sweet ones, you have the aggression of Mars in direct opposition of Leo right now in the sun. And coming into this direct opposition, that polarity dance of the two lovers, Leo and Aquarius, you're going to find that it's going to bring up, I've already mentioned, and that it will bring up all that has been denied, rejected, refused to be acknowledged, all that hidden stuff buried deep within you. And with that, it's really helpful to understand that this is a catalyst of great change, this lunar eclipse. And where Aquarius is the vision, represents the vision of universal consciousness, if you will, unity and consciousness, Leo represents more of the day-to-day, if you will. And these two, with a lunar eclipse, is going to amplify this. Now, you're going to find that it is going to amplify rebellion. It's going to amplify, for a lack of a better way of saying it, rebellion. Well, it's going to bring a lot to the surface. Let's just put it that way. And so, in Aquarius they're going to have to find a balance. The thing about an eclipse is an eclipse severs anything that is not for your highest good and reveals it to you. And with this opposition between the two this weekend coming up into the culmination on the lunar eclipse, it literally is going to be a dance of the future and the past, if you will, and finding balance within that, finding the middle ground, if you will, bringing everything back to middle ground, if you will. And with that comes a great amount of intensity, rebellion, radicalism, extremes. That's probably a really good word here. Extremes. And it is literally a dance where you're going to have to confront not only your darkness, but your light, and figure out how to make them blend. Now, that's the journey we've all been on, yes. To find that 0 point, to find that middle balance, and to walk that middle path. What's different about these eclipses, sweethearts, is that no stone will be left unturned. And any skeletons in your heart will be revealed. Any ghosts, any secrets, anything that you're ashamed of, you're guilty of, that you have not acknowledged, if you will be presented for you. And there is... people are going to start seeing their characters. They've been seeing it all along. They just refuse to acknowledge it. The majority of humanity, well, they're not going to be given a choice to not acknowledge it through this lunar eclipse, if you will, sweet ones. And it is going to propel you forward in very transformational ways. The catalyst in this all is pride. Leo has great pride. Leo can roar or Leo can purr. And Aquarius, like I said, Aquarius is the visionary, is the future, is more about bringing in the universal. We are all connected, whereas Leo is more about ego, pride, selfishness, control, manipulation in all its glory. Again, this is literally, you guys have been on a journey of balancing your light and dark. Well, you think the dance up to this point has been intense? Well, this is going to amplify it 100-fold, if you will. It is a direct polarity dance. And you're not going to come out, there's no way you're going to escape, sweet ones. There's no just facing your dark. There's no just facing your light. You're going to see through this lunar eclipse on Monday that they are one and the same. Now, we've been telling you and sharing with you and showing you different aspects throughout this journey, many of us, just what those polarities are. And as each of you feel them and have felt them, you're going to feel it even more so with this polarity dance between Leo and Aquarius. They are the ultimate divine lovers. They are the divine consorts. It's fire and water, you know, and air, and it's fire and air and earth and water. And so those of you who are feeling how intense it is already, that are going through these really intense spaces, like so many of them have been sharing with me today, and it's most helpful to ground. This is going to knock you off center. It's going to make you teeter. It's going to unground you. And this is where you really have to observe thyself, really step back, really ground yourself, and go within and really embrace this dance between the dark and the light. Because you will be faced with both. And by facing both and coming into that balance with both, if you will, it will catapult you forward into a very transformative way leading up into the total solar eclipse. Now, this is going to bring out a lot of change, not only in the micro, but in the macro. How you deal with the micro or the individual presentations for each of you is going to directly affect the collective conscience in the way like this. The majority of humanity is still asleep, sweet ones. They have no idea what dark and light is. You do. Those of you, way showers, light workers, whatever label you want to give yourselves, those of us on the spiritual journey who are awakened, who have done the inner work, who continue to do the inner work on a daily basis, you're going to find that you have to be that pillar of peace amongst going through everything that is going to be revealed to you individually. And the collective aspect of this is the majority of humanity is still asleep. And when you have the majority still asleep collectively, guess what that means? It means that madness, rebellion, radical, what's the right word? Cathartic, catalytic, let's use that word, catalytic, is going to be present. Now, us on the spiritual journey, we have a great understanding, and even those just awakening, they're coming into the understanding that the difference between light and dark, how to blend them, how to merge them, how to heal them, how to deal with what is presented, yada, yada, yada. But those still asleep react. And when you react to anything that is presented to you, especially when it's your own character that you refuse to acknowledge, and still continue to blame the outside world and everybody else for all your struggles and inner demons, wounds, whatever it may be, that's what's going to be present in the collective overall. So, on a collective energy, if you will, this is going to be, well, it's going to be like a fire that just gets a wave of wind and explodes. How you doing, Demetrius, Astral, Bethany, Sue, Harvey, Debbie, Usman, Emmy, who'd I miss? Mel, Tafsir, Catherine, how y'all doing, sweethearts? And so, as the collective faces their own darkness, if you will, as a collective, the individual of us way showers, light workers, again, whatever label you want to give us, those on the spiritual journey, this is where not only do we have to deal with our own inner demons and issues that are going to arise that we, if there has not been dealt with, deal with those and stay grounded throughout that. We also, because we have been on the spiritual journey, we have healed within, we have raised our frequencies, are going to be very sensitive to the collective energies. Now, we all understand that how we deal with things affects the collective. Those of us on the spiritual journey, we are very well aware. Many of us great gatekeepers and grid workers do the global healing, the global meditations to help heal the collective for that aspect of the collective, which is the majority that is still asleep, that cannot transmute it because they do not know how to transmute it, if you will. They're still asleep. And so that's where we come into double duty this weekend, sweet ones. Not only do we have to deal with our own issues if they arise, and trust us, even the most enlightened of us have hidden this coming up. Yeah, they can deny it if they want to. It is what it is. It's a never-ending, never-beginning journey of evolution. Ascension is ongoing always. There's always inner work to do. There's always... But those of us that are grounded, those of us who have been on this journey, who understand the polarities, understand the duality, understand the separation, not only do we have to deal with our own and are going to come unbalanced and everything else because of the magnetic field that is changing around the earth, if you will, which is having great amount of influence. And that is what's causing a lot of you right now today, the intensity just coming in, is because, we understand the great influence that's coming in. However, we also, again, are doing double duty. So, being as sensitive as each of us are, you're also going to take on those energies of the collective and need to transmute, if you will, and transform the energy of the collective, of the 7 billion souls that are still very much asleep. And so you're going to feel this, not only your own energies and own inner demons and wounds that have not been healed, but you're also going to feel the collective, sweet ones. And it's going to be more intense for us on the spiritual journey because that's what we do. We transmute and transform the energies of those that are asleep, that are not aware. And so I encourage you, sweet ones, make sure you step back and you ground, and breathe through this. Because although a lot of it is yours, individually, that will be presented, and I encourage you, do not blame it on the collective energies. Although they will play a very big part in this, because we are those transformers. Have you ever seen the movie Transformers? That's us. That's who we are. That's what we are. We transform. And we are actually very, very good at it. We are the best of the best, and that's why we're here. And if you're not sure if you're the best of the best, well, I'm here to share with you that we are the best of the best. And that's why we are here and not somebody else. Because this is what we do. And so, as we go into this weekend, yes, you're going to come with an intense wave tonight. Yes, it is going to knock you off balance because right now the electromagnetic field of the earth has gone through a great change in the past 48 hours and will continue to do so. Time has sped up. And with time speeding up, it has brought up more. So, liken this lunar eclipse to be, liken it like this. Any eclipse is intense anyways. This one is intense by 100-fold because it is in direct opposition of the divine consorts, the divine lovers energetically, the heart and the mind of spirit, Leo and Aquarius. And as much as the darkness that it brings up a great amount of light. Again, this is literally your dance of darkness and light. What you choose, so shall it be. And another thing that's influencing this is, if you remember back, we had a pole shift. Leo went into the north node and Aquarius went into the south node. So now you got Aquarius and Leo not only amplifying the nodes, which deals with the hidden and the unseen, you now have Leo and Aquarius in a major oppositional dance of each other that's going to make you face the king and the queen. Now the queen will help nurture and comfort and bring in that loving energy. And the king is taking his rulership back. Leo and Aquarius, if only you knew. Oh, honey, I know very well. Aquarius is my sun and Leo is in my moon at 1 degree. And guess where Leo's at? 0 degrees. Oh, it's going to affect me greater than most. I am fully aware of Leo and Aquarius. Not only on a spiritual level, but in a physical level. I deal with that polarity in every breath I take. You guys think you've had it hard on your journey. I've been in direct opposition of my king for 48 years in this physical plane. I'm well aware of the dance between those two. The dance between light and darkness presents itself to me in every given breath. I am so well aware of that one. And so now it's coming on a spiritual level, not just an astrological level, not just a physical level. Now it's going to kick our asses, for lack of a better way of saying it, sweet ones. And if you are not prepared to dance with the ego, if you are too sensitive and not grounded enough, well, prepare to be shook up in a very catalytic way. And I'm saying that with all the love in my heart, trust me. And if you're too much arrogant and in the ego and prideful, guess what? Your queen, that mother divine female energy, is going to shake your world up and make you crumble. Make that pride crumble. You will see, and it will be enhanced 100-fold. Just where there is complete unbalance between the king and queen within each of you. And you will find that if you allow that dance to be graceful and gentle versus resisting the king trying to take his rulership and the queen standing up and saying, you ain't taking it without me. We're doing this together or we ain't doing this at all. Simple as that. That's what these energies are all about. And then it goes straight into remember, I mentioned, how you doing, beautiful? Remember, I mentioned that this lunar eclipse, with any eclipse, that it is a severing of all that is not for the highest good. So anything that's coming up, it will sever anything that is not for your highest good, and it will reveal it to you. But then the next day you go right into the Lion's Gate. And that Lion's Gate is very transformational. And so you have this weekend that is going to catapult you forward. It's going to be intense leading up to it. Not only do you have the dance of the divine consorts between light and dark that will be presented to you, showing you that there is no difference between the two, that they are one and the same. And for those who have denied the darkness, who have focused on just the light, just the pretty pictures, just the love aspect of spirituality, and just keep shoving the other stuff away, not wanting to deal with their shadows, guess what? You're not going to have a choice not to. This lunar eclipse is going to force you to dance with your darkness. But it's going to force those of us on this spiritual journey to also dance with the collective darkness and light. And like Teresa said, I have said this for years. Absolutely, we all have. And now we're at that culmination point, if you will. And so really, really allow this dance to take place, sweet ones. Really allow the positive energies that this is going to bring up, because it's going to bring up both. Really allow the positive energies to grace, not stroke, mind you. I said grace. The energies of that pride and ego of the king that is that's going to present itself. And as you do so, going into the Lion's Gate, you're going to find a great amount of magic. But by the same token, allow yourselves to understand, not only on an individual level, that you are going to deal with this dance between the divine king and queen coming into that full neutral balance and harmony with each other. You're going to find collectively it is going to be even more intense. And that is where we, as the light workers, the way showers, the gatekeepers, grid, whatever label you want to give it, you're going to find that this is going to be a catalyst for all of us to really be that pillar of light, that pillar of peace, and that pillar of love. You are going to, that's why I encourage people, reach out if you start to spiral, especially those on the spiritual journey, because it begins with us. It begins with, we are already oneness, but it begins with us to come into unity, to allow each other to lean on each other. And by doing so, we are going to change the we have a great amount of potential to change the collective energy for all those who are still asleep. And that is really where those that are extremely sensitive, this is going to be, for lack of a better description, harder on you. Now, it is really helpful, sweet ones, to understand this is great change for us. Transformationally, individually, collectively, and planetarily. But with this comes a lot of separation of the lower timelines. Am I saying not reach out to those that have chosen not to awaken? That's not what I'm saying at all. What I'm saying is, rather than engage in the catalytic energies that they engage in for not knowing any different, if you will, but to stand there and to surround them with loving energy rather than engage and participate in what they project out. Again, when you are in the lower vibrational frequencies, when you are in that survival mode mentality, and that victim mode that as a humanity collectively we have been enslaved in. For those not awake, they don't realize that it's wrong. And this is where we really have to be that neutral space and hold that neutral space and hold love for them and really send out that loving energy to them individually when it's presented to us and collectively. And so as this wave comes in tonight, and really take the time to step back to ground yourselves, or it's gonna knock you off course. It's already knocked all of us off a little bit. I'm not saying, no, that's probably not the right term, knock off, but we're all feeling it. And what we've been feeling is because time has been sped up and the electromagnetic fields is changing. Let me catch up here for a sec here. Demetrius, Alpha and Omega, Feminine Math. Yeah, and this is really, this eclipse is it. This is really giving us the opportunity to fully bring that polarity back into absolute neutrality, 0 point, as they harmonize and dance together. From this point forward, there isn't going to be that, if you will, there isn't going to be that oppositional force between the two of them anymore. And what's being highlighted not only by the eclipse energy is that the aggressiveness of the Mars energy that is in direct opposition to Leo. So Pamela says, my daughter's birthday has a solar eclipse this year. I feel it coming. That's actually very beautiful, Pamela. That's actually very beautiful. It'll be tough, but it'll be beautiful. Let's see what else somebody says. August 14th, Mercury retrograde, absolutely. And you guys will find, sweet ones, once we go through these eclipses and stuff, you're going to find those who have stepped off the karmic wheel and reincarnation cycle. You're going to find that slowly those astrological influences in the physical, if you will kind of fade away, if you will. It really affects those that are still on that karmic wheel of reincarnation. Zadaka says, every man's work shall be made manifest, for the day shall declare it, because it shall be revealed by fire, and the fire shall try every man's work of, and I can't read the rest of it, my phone won't let me. Zadaka, I'll read it afterwards. Let's see. The divine masculine and feminine join together for a divine dance. Let your dance. Absolutely, this is a dance, and it's going to be beautiful. Teresa says, "Let it go," and it really is. What's coming up, sweet ones? For those of you who've been on the journey for a few years, really, this is just a matter of letting it all go. Let it go. Let it go. Just not engage in it, but really be present with what's being presented to you, and don't judge it. This judgment is really going to be prevalent with this pride and ego that Leo is going to be presenting, if you will. Excuse me. And so really just ground. I can't say that enough. And breathe. And if you're not familiar with deep breathing, reach out to somebody that can show you, or do some research, whatever it may be. But your breath is going to help you through this and keep you grounded in ways that you haven't seen. Zadaka says, crying has been saying for years it will only take 0.5% to make the change happen to the collectively the awake, bring along the unawakened like a bride's trail attached to the veil. Very true. I'm not one who listens to crying unless somebody sends me a link, so I'm not familiar with that. Jenny says, I have been so angry and sad the last few days, just out of nowhere, wave after wave. Jenny, that's not unusual. What is occurring with these waves and these intense energies coming in, beautiful, is it's bringing up those spaces and those old memories for us just to release. And that anger and that sadness, well, what my spirit is getting, honey, that's direct for you. That's directly tied into the many deaths that you have gone through spiritually, if you will, in the past couple of weeks. Allow that grieving. The anger and sadness has to do with the grieving and There's grieving in any kind of death, whether it's metaphysical, metaphorical, physical. There's always a grieving process in it, and sweet ones, honor that grieving process. Allow yourselves to go through it. And again, allow yourselves to release it. I'm going to sneeze. Excuse me. And so, let me catch up here. Pamela says, sorry, I feel it coming in a beautiful way. I know it must be special, right? It is very special. You know, regardless of how anything is presented, I'm going to sneeze, so just bear with me, sweet ones. Thank you. Whatever it's the seemingly darkness, you know, we're coming into a space away from these labels, truly. And that's really what unity consciousness is about. To let go of those separation ideologies and really just come together and accept everybody for who and what they are, what they choose, how they choose it, regardless. That is full acceptance. That's true awareness. Is to understand that you are all those other aspects and they represent it for you. And when you can accept everybody for whether you resonate with it or not, accept it and allow it to be. It is what it is, what it is. It doesn't mean it's right or wrong. And so, as we go into this, really dance your way through this, sweet ones, and really hold that loving intent within your heart, within your meditations. Hold that intent and send out that loving energies to the collective that is still asleep. And you start doing that right now, sweet ones, before it culminates on Monday. Excuse me, you will find that the more of us that do that and put that intention collectively out there, and to really sit there and focus on harmonizing through the loving energies that we hold within us collectively, it will help gracefully make this more graceful and gentle. I mean, it's going to be catalytic regardless, because that's what eclipses do. They sever that which is not for your highest good. And as we do this collectively, we can make it more graceful for those that are still asleep and who have chosen to stay on that reincarnation cycle. And that's okay. That's truly, totally okay. So know that you're really going to start feeling it tonight with this intense wave that's coming in. And allow yourselves to move through this very gracefully. Be present with it. Don't attach new emotions to it. Love whatever arises. Reach out and really just anchor yourself into that loving, peaceful heart. And know that this is the dance. Liken it to your first dance on your wedding night. Because that really truly is what this lunar eclipse is going to do. It is bringing the king and queen together so they can bring into balance, bring into harmonization their dance steps. And so they can learn how to dance together and to go forward into a tango of beautiful, beautiful love and magic. So, allow your king and queen to rise, sweet ones. In whatever stumbles in the steps that you make in your dance this weekend leading up to the culmination on Monday, don't judge. It's okay if you step on your king's toes, and it's okay if he stumbles over his queen's feet. Because you will learn how to dance together. And it will come out to be a very beautiful, a very magical, and a very transforming dance of harmony, joy, peace, love, and abundance. So enjoy your dance, even if it appears that there's some stumbles and stepping on toes, and you know, you have to stop and start the music for a little bit till you get it right. you know, liken it to the movie Dirty Dancing. You have to work at it to get it into harmony, and you've been working at it, and this is the culmination. So really enjoy these energies, sweet ones. Find the magic in them, regardless if the pride and the ego of your king, if you will, reveals itself and shows itself, maybe not so much in the most graceful way that the purring of a lion, which we know lions can purr very nicely. They're not going to be purring this weekend, sweet ones, but the queen in us can make that lion purr when it's roaring. And that is what this weekend in this full moon, or this full moon lunar eclipse is all about. Is stroking not the ego of Leo, but to stroke the purring and to bring it out. So allow the goddess to rise with her god, and allow the king to claim his queen, and let them have their first dance of their wedding night, because truly that's what this is. And when you can allow the magic to override the pride and the ego that is presented to us, collectively, planetarily, and individually, we will be in a very magical, magical, glory, holy space. So, harmonize and dance, sweet ones. The magic truly is there. And if you can't find it, come to those of us who can, and we'll help you find it. Teresa's great at finding magic, so am I. So is many of us. So just dance. And if you need adjustment in the music, well, we're here for you. So I encourage you, sweet ones, and I ask each of us that are on the spiritual journey to really put our intent out, beginning right now, throughout the weekend, to collectively make this much more graceful. Because it doesn't matter if they're awake or asleep, sweet ones. We still are all one. We are still all one heart, regardless. And we love the dark as much as we do the light. There is no difference. So for those who have chosen that their soul still needs to do some soul growth, we hold space for them. And we help them transmute this too, because that's what we do. So let us do it. And let us put the intent out for this collectively to be much more graceful on all of us. Because the more that we can do that, and the more of us that put that intent, that are very well in awareness of how intentions work, let us put that intention out there to make this weekend that is so very catalytic, leading up to culminating on Monday, to be more graceful and to be more gentle collectively for all of us. That's what I ask. So have a beautiful, beautiful night, a beautiful, magical night, sweet ones. I love you. I'm holding you all in eternal peace, love, harmony, joy, grace. Have a great, great night, and dance. And allow yourself to turn the music up and dance, and know that it's okay to stumble, because that's how we learn to evolve in love together. And that is the most important thing that we can do, is togetherness and unity. So have a great night, sweethearts. Big, big, big hugs and blessings. Bye-bye now.